Oh, hey! Didn't see you there. My name's Mike, and I'm with Rokoko, and welcome to Rokoko Studio. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the live filter Locomotion 2.0. I'm going to be talking about best practices when recording in Locomotion 2.0, and talk about the playback features with Locomotion 2.0. So, let's get started. The very first thing I'm going to do is calibrate. What calibration does is that it zeroes out all the sensors and it establishes the origin of your animation. In general, when doing a recording, you're mostly going to be using the Locomotion 2.0. The reason why is because I can actually translate within the 3D space. And a few points I want to talk about with Locomotion 2.0 and in general Rokoko Studio is that this ground plane that you see, it's not being tracked relative to our world. So how this ground plane is established is by the floor contact of the Smart Suit Pro. So when recording in Locomotion 2.0, it's always apparent that you keep at least 1 foot on the ground at all times. Yes, there are ways to clean up some of that animation. Say like you're running or you're doing a jump. You can clean this up in our filters that are offered in our playback filters. Also, sometimes you're doing an animation and it just looks better in treadmill, or maybe even Locomotion Legacy. It's just going to take, as a user, I want you to understand these filters and understand that some animations look better than others in different filters. So, the other thing I want to talk about is, you see this animation right now, how I'm walking around? This is just live reference. That's all it is. It's not actually what it's recording. What happens is that the suit records the animation and then it processes through our very, very robust filters. It helps out with floor contact. It helps out with the knee popping. It helps out with the weight of the character. So what you see right now is definitely not what you're actually going to be exporting as your animation. And the third and final thing is that, as I talked about that this ground plane is not relative to my world, when you're doing an animation, it's always good to establish a starting position of your animation, and at the end of the animation, return to that position, because it's going to help out with the drift fix filter. So let's get a recording started, and we'll go jump into the filters. And what am I going to do? Anyone guess? In the back? No. I'm going to calibrate. You're ready. Boom. Ah. Alrighty. So, let's start recording. Why? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. 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 Da, da, da. I'm a British man walking. Walking. Okay. Now, I'm going to return right back in my world. I've drifted a little bit in Rokoko Studio. But Mike is in the exact same position that I started. And again, I'm going to use the drift fix filter to fix that. The take that we just recorded can be found in the panel on the left side of Rokoko Studio. Double-click to open the take. If you'd like to return back to your live view, just head over to the Scene Overview panel and click on the small X to cancel out of the take that you are viewing. Now that we've opened the take, our playback filters have populated at the bottom of our screen. Click on the wand icon to open up the playback filter menu. If you want to reprocess this capture in Locomotion Legacy or Treadmill, just toggle on that filter and reprocess the changes. But since this tutorial is on Locomotion 2.0, we're going to stick in Locomotion 2.0. The first thing that you need to do when cleaning up your mocap data is the Locomotion filter. Be sure to finish this filter before moving on to any other playback filters. Now, I'm not going to go too in-depth with this filter because my colleague Sam has already created a fantastic tutorial on this Locomotion filter. So I will be sure to leave a link in the notes of this video. But here's a quick overview of how this filter works. Remember when I said that the suit is trying to figure out where the ground plane is? Well, it does a good job, but needs a little bit of our help. And that's exactly what this filter does. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to toggle on the gizmos. And as you can see, we have these two little discs. The green one designates the left foot, and the blue one designates the right foot. And essentially, what we're doing is that when the discs are active, it tells the suit that this foot is connected to the ground and that there's weight to this leg and to this animation. So when there's a step involved, as you can see from the left foot, the green one, the disc deactivates, saying that there is no weight. The weight is right now is on the blue, the right foot. And then when the left foot steps down, it reactivates. So during this cleanup process, we're just going to go through it and scrub these different keyframes to make sure that the animation is correct. Now, I've already gone through this, but I want to highlight one slight issue and show you what this does. So, as you can see right here, both of our discs deactivate, and the left foot falls through the ground plane. As you can see from the animation, I'm stepping out with my right foot, and then I'm stepping back with my right foot. So the weight of my left foot, the green one, it should stay active. So let me zoom in, and all I'm gonna do is, let's see when I actually lift up with my left foot. My left foot stays on the ground until about, and you can see from the knee, about right there. So I'm gonna take this key, I'm just gonna drag it along, and I'm gonna overlap it with my right foot, because we're humans, we can't float, we step. So now that I've made a change, it doesn't process live. So now I have this new button, Process Changes. I'm gonna click on that, and now as you can see, the left foot stays above the ground plane until it actually steps. So, quick fix, nice and easy, very straightforward. In addition to this filter, there's one thing that I want to point out. So, in this position, as you can see, I'm holding my feet there, but the left foot kind of slides around. That's okay. If you see this, it's okay. That's what our foot IK filter is for, which I'm about to move on to. So, now that we're happy with our Locomotion filter, let's actually move on to our Drift Fix filter. So let's go back to our start position. And remember before we did the capture, I pointed out that you need to start and end at the same position. Well, when I turn on this gizmo, we're going to get two widgets. We have our start position and we have our end position. All I'm going to do is I'm going to take our end position and I'm going to drag it onto our start position, because I know that I started and ended at the same spot. I'm going to process that change, and it's going to get rid of any drift that might have occurred during the capture. And that's it. That simple. Great. Now let's move on to our foot IK. Now remember earlier when I said we had that little bit of sliding going on? Well, let's watch it in action. Let me turn this off. Turn back on the foot gizmos because it makes it a little bit more apparent. Let me zoom into that spot. Where was it? There it is. So see how it slides right there? What the foot IK filter does is essentially locks the feet when they're touching the ground plane. It locks the feet to prevent any sliding that's happening. So I've activated the filter, and all I'm going to do is just process the change. And now, as I scrub through this, my foot is locked to the ground. Great. That's it. Now, the next filter, the knee pop smoothing, is pretty much the same thing. I'm just going to activate it and process the change. Essentially what the knee pop smoothing filter does is that it actually smooths the animation curves of the knee. Knee popping can occur when the legs don't have enough room between the feet and the hips. And this is very apparent when you're doing the live reference of your animation. So before you do your actual capture, you can actually see the knees that are popping because it's getting stuck in between the ground and the hips. But that's okay. That's why we have this filter. It smooths the animation curves. There's no real manual cleaning up that you have to do. Just activate it and process that change. Now, if for whatever reason, with the Drift Fix filter, the foot IK, or the knee pop smoothing, if there's a certain range in your animation that you want to deactivate this filter, you can add a key onto their timeline just by these little key buttons. And if you want to, think of this line as a value of 0 to 1. when it's on top, it's at 1, so it's active. But if we wanted to turn it off, I'll put 2 keys there, and I'll take this key, and I'll drag it down. So now it's deactivated for the rest of the take. If that's something that you need to do, we've left it in there so that you can deactivate these filters for a certain range of the animation. But in general, I usually keep it on and don't add any keys or anything like that. Maybe if you were like, maybe a zombie or something that was dragging its feet on the ground because its leg was broken, then maybe I would probably set a key for the foot IK. But in general, I basically just activate the filter and process the change. Well, folks, that is it. In terms of cleanup or in terms of using our filters, it's very straightforward, very easy to use. That's what we strive to at Rokoko, is making this very accessible and easy to use. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like it, comment if you have any questions, subscribe to our channel, head over to rokoko.com, and of course you're always welcome to email us at support@rokoko.com. Thanks for watching, and keep mocapping.